Ashley, and I'm a first-year veterinary student at St. George's University. And for today's video, we're going to talk about how my term one went overall. There were a lot of ups and downs, so definitely be sure to watch the whole video. And if you guys do have any questions for me, or comments, concerns, just put it down in the comments below and I will get back to you. Alright, so to begin with today's video, we're going to talk about how the classes were. Personally, I thought they were pretty good. They were definitely a lot harder than I was anticipating. We all know vet school is hard, but you really don't know until you actually go through it. And for me, just because I was out of school for 2 years, my study habits were pretty bad. And the study methods I had in undergrad, I found very quickly that they didn't work for me anymore for graduate school, so I did have to change my study habits. I did go to the learning strategist here on campus, which helped me a lot to figure out what I needed to work on. And as the first quizzes came through, I knew kind of what the professors were going to ask, mostly clinical based questions. So what would you do in this scenario if your dog had heart failure? What pathway is it? And things like that. What type of medication would you think to give, or what type of diagnostics? Thankfully, all of the courses I had correlated with one another last term, some more than others, but overall it was a good basis, I thought, for the classes themselves. The professors I thought were really good. I actually didn't have one professor who I really disliked. They are very personable here and they do their absolute best to help us succeed. So last term I got involved in a lot of different things, some clubs, some research, and honestly it was amazing because with the clubs now, we actually get to do stuff that's pertaining more to our field. So if you want to join the surgery club, you can practice your sutures in different wet labs, and if you like pathology, you can do the bacteriology labs and learn stuff that would have been helpful for this term. So overall, it was amazing to get involved with everything because it really does showcase how much our material is that we're learning in class helps us later in the field. But overall, I think my experience on the island has been very good. I actually like being here on this island. I know some of my classmates have struggled with homesickness, so it would be helpful if you guys do know you'll already have that to bring pictures or memorials or anything that you need to focus solely on school when you get here. Because when you get here and you're in vet school, it is really, really difficult to just have anything else besides school. At least for me, it was very challenging to put aside my life outside of vet school, just away from it. So definitely finding a mindset to just focus on school, set boundaries with your family or your significant others just so they know when to not contact you, because you will be in class a lot, you'll be studying a lot, and there will be many times where you're frustrated, but it's completely normal. And if you guys do need help at all, we do have a great counseling services here on campus, and your classmates will be very helpful as well. At least for our class, we haven't had the same competitiveness that I had in undergrad. We are no longer competing with each other, we're trying to help each other out as much as we can. So that part is really nice. And also we do have the peer learning groups here, which also help if you need extra practice in a certain subject. For physiology for me, I needed extra help with that last term, and I utilized the peer learning groups the most for that. But I did also want to talk about GPA and how to go about handling the test scores or the quiz scores. Because I'm going to be very honest, I did not like my test or quiz scores last term, and I was very, very frustrated, and it can be very overwhelming. But just know that it is normal. It's okay to not know everything. And that was one of the hardest lessons I had to learn last term, because I'm like a perfectionist when it comes to things, and I feel like I always need to be on the game all the time. That's just not really feasible in this type of school. So you definitely need to find time for yourself. Do not always study, because you will burn out very easily doing that. And don't worry too much about your grades. I know that's very hard to understand and to know, especially for someone like me. I used to get A's and B's. I was never happy if I got anything lower than a B. And my GPA was the lowest it has ever been last term. But I know in the long run it's okay, because I will be placed at a clinical school somewhere. I'm doing better this term with my study habits, so once you do learn those study habits, it will help you tremendously. And like I said before, there are strategists here on campus that can help you with that. And also, lean on your classmates as well to see what works for them. It might also work for you too. But you just gotta find the right way to study for you in order to keep those grades up. But please don't be devastated if you get a failing grade. I failed plenty of times last term, and it was rough. But thankfully a lot of my classmates were going through the same thing, so it might help to know that it is possible to get through school even if you fail certain things. And it is okay to repeat classes as well. I have a lot of friends who are doing that, and it is perfectly okay. You do not have to graduate early. You do not have to graduate the 4-year set program. You can just go your own pace. Just do your best. That is all your professors will want from you, but they also want you to take care of you. Alright, so for the rest of this video, it's going to be some pretty heavy stuff. So if you do feel the need to click off this video, please do so. And I just wanted to give a quick disclaimer. This is just my personal feelings. This doesn't represent everyone at SGU. And that if you guys ever need help, please reach out. I'm always willing to talk with anyone, especially in the Facebook group or on YouTube. I will be there. Hi everyone, so I do apologize. It is the next day. I couldn't handle everything last night the way I thought it needed to be said. But last term I had a lot of personal things going on at home where my dad was extremely sick, and it was extremely rough for me not to be there in person for him, because I'm on the island and he's in the States. But so I had that going on. Probably won't get into all of that. I can, if you want me to, in like a separate video, explain how my winter break went. So during our midterm week last term, we unfortunately lost one of my classmates to suicide. And trying to go through the rest of our exams, the rest of our term, was extremely difficult. At least it was for me. It affected us all in very different ways, but it was really difficult to focus back on studying after something like that happens, because you don't really expect it to happen, especially in your class. And it just caught us or at least myself, by surprise. And our professors did their absolute best to get us through everything. We held a lot of memorials for her. We just did a stone dedication for her yesterday. And I hope she realizes how much we miss her. And in my eyes and heart, she will always be a veterinarian alongside us. When you go through something as traumatic as that, it's just not easy to just focus solely on school. So definitely I had to go to counseling myself to work through the grief and work through how to study again. And it was very challenging for me. It still is, as you can see. I'm having a hard time getting through this video. And I apologize because it has taken me a while to get this up, and this was the major reason why. Because I wasn't honestly sure if I was going to put this in here or not. But I feel like it is something that we need to talk about, because it wasn't all great last term. Like, we had this huge traumatic event that happened. And it's hard. But if you guys, again, need anything at all, need to talk to anyone, please reach out. If it's not with me, to like a counselor at your school or your friends or your family, just get the help that you need, because I don't want to lose you guys as well. And it's a hard thing to go through. I've had a lot of people ask me if I regretted coming to school here, just because of everything that happened, and since it's so isolated, do I not enjoy it here? And I would say I don't regret coming here. I've made great friends who have become my family, and I think the professors are great. I think the teaching style is pretty good. Like, our Navali Passery has been awesome the last couple of years. So I think they are preparing us well to be veterinarians. They are doing their best to help teach us how to communicate and handle stressful situations. And unfortunately, situations like my classmate. But overall, I don't regret coming here. It's just been a hard term. And I'm hopeful that term 2 goes better. So far it is. But hopefully we can get through the term and we can move on to term 3 and just continue on this vet career. But if you guys do have any questions or concerns, just put it down in the comments below. I know I'm leaving this off on a pretty sour end, or pretty unhappy end. But I did want to be honest with all of you about what happened, because it does need to be said that it does happen, unfortunately, a lot more than it should in this field. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys have watched this far, and I will see you all on the next vlog.